Welcome to the Crimson Circle Connection Center. We're here in Louisville, Colorado, ready for a channel with Jeffrey Hoppe and Adamus or whomever shows up. But we're ready. So, as you can see, we're getting ready. This is the third session of the Emergence series. We hope that you're enjoying that series. It's got some pretty incredible information, but we already knew that. So, it's time to get ready for that. We've got it, wait, real quickly, we have got a very exciting, energetic crowd here. Could you turn up the house lights just for a second, just so everybody can see what a great audience we have? We hope that that excitement carries over to when I have the microphone and you want me to bring you that microphone. So I think we've got the right audience for that. So with that, I invite each of us, as we get ready for this session, to take the good deep breath. Adamus always reminds us, it's the breath. It brings the consciousness and awareness. It brings us to I am here, the presence, the awareness. Take the good deep breath and let the energies flow for you. It's that good deep breath. Feel the energies as they move through your body with every breath. And let those energies expand from within and out. It's the breath, that gift we give ourselves. And as we breathe, we open all our senses, human and divine. Breathing in the human and the master. Open your senses and allow the music that's going to play. Breathe that in and feel this music. Always imagine this as the master and the human communicating. Feel the energy as we breathe into this present I am here.
I thought sooner or later the lights up above will come down in circles and God made a love. But I don't know what's right for me, I cannot see straight. I've been here too long and I don't wanna wait for it. Fly like a cannonball straight to my soul. Tear me to pieces and make me feel whole. I'm willing to fight for it and carry this weight. But with every step I keep questioning what is true. Fall on me with open arms. Fall on me from where you are. Fall on me with all your light, with all your light, with all your light. Presto una luce ti illuminerà, seguila sempre, guidarti saprà. Tu non arrenderti, attento a non perderti, e il tuo passato avrà senso per te. Vorrei che credessi in te stesso, ma sì, in ogni passo che muoverai qui. È un viaggio infinito, sorriderò se nel tempo che fugge mi porti con te. Fall ascoltami, fall on me, abbracciami, fall on me, finché vorrai, finché vorrai, finché vorrai, finché vorrai. I close my eyes and I'm seeing you everywhere. I step outside, it's like I'm breathing you in the air. I can feel you're there. Fall on me, ascoltami, fall on me, abbracciami, fall on me, with all your light, with all your light, with all your light.
I am that I am. Adamus of sovereign domain. Sensual. Very sensual. So many layers to this. Very, very sensual. And it leads me to wonder, and perhaps you begin to wonder, why have you resisted sensuality for so long? Real feelings, beauty, richness. How long has it been since you've had those deeply sensual feelings? And how long has it been since you really allowed yourself to feel into the greatest love story that has never been told yet? The love story between yourself, the human, the master, the I am. What a beautiful, beautiful musical opening to our gathering today. Feel into it for a moment and take a look at what's happening to you. You could have watched this same video 5 years ago, even a year ago, and perhaps not the same feelings. You're waking up, you're opening up something within you. You're allowing sensuality after a long, long, long gray, flat period in your life. You're finally allowing it. We're going to get into that today, what's happening and why. I want you to look at today as really kind of a perspective of where you are. Not a lecture, you're not really learning anything new, but you're discovering really where you are right now. And one of the great things is a return to sensuality, but it begs the question, why did you put it out for so long? Where did it go? Why did you let yourself go gray and flat for so very, very long? And I guess I have to ask the question, are you ready for deep sensuality in your life? I love this opening also because it's such a beautiful example of communing. Sam talked about it a lot at our big gathering recently in Slovenia. And the gathering not so far from where there were mystery schools in the past, within 30 kilometers from some of the mystery schools. They're not there anymore, but It was so good to be back once again in that era and that area. And what a difference. Really, truly, the mystery schools are beautiful, but what a difference now in the energies of Shaumbra. Sam talked about communing. You see, he, as an ascended master, realizes that all energy is communication. It's the soul communicating. It's singing to you, just like this song sang to you. It's singing to you. Every bit of energy in anything, even if it's something you'd consider bad or negative, it's still just energy, and it's all communications. This song that just played was communing with you. It's music, of course, one of the greatest ways to commune. It's music, but it's communing on many different levels. You weren't just hearing the musical notes, the singing in your ears. It went far beyond that. And it's kind of almost, in a way, I don't want to call it a test, but it's a question put before you. Are you ready to feel deeply into everything? A song like this. Are you ready to feel deeply into your own life, into everything that you do? Because that's where we're going. Deep sensuality. Sam talked about communing. You see, he's an ascended master come back in human forms. And like you, he still has the human challenges. He still has to put up with everyday mass consciousness. What he does is communes. He listens and feels all of the energies. It's no longer the noise of a machine, a loud machine next door. It's a communing of energies. That's how he deals with it. The human thinks, oh, that machine next door at the neighbors is so loud and noisy, or the traffic, or whatever it happens to be. The human looks at it as it's irritant. And you know what that's like. You get a lot of it. They're just irritants off of energy from other people. Sam doesn't look at it that way. All energies are communing. And it's not good or it's not bad. They're just singing. A constant rejoicing of being in service. That's what energy does. And then Sam communes back. He doesn't start talking to trees. He is not talking back to a video like this. He opens himself and lets his energy and his consciousness commune back. He doesn't try to mentally direct a message. He doesn't try to put it to words saying this is beautiful or this is inspiring. He simply opens up. There is a natural communication that takes place when you open up, when you let it be, when you allow. And then you have a flow now going from you, the human in your experience, into all the energies around you, and they commune, they sing back. And again, you don't even try to put it into words. Please don't. Please don't define it. Allow this open communing, and you'll discover the beauty of energy being here in service to you. Acknowledge this communion. Acknowledge that every energy is talking to you, communing, singing, and then open yourself up. That's the next step. I think some of you have started to already feel this communing taking place. Maybe not sure how to define it or what it is, but you're feeling something. The next step is to open up yourself. That's a big step. You've been closed down for so very long. It's a very, very big step to expose yourself. But as we get into this show today, I'll explain to you why you can do that now, why it would have been difficult a few years ago. Yes, dear Sam, and his talk about communing. He said it's the new breathing. You take a deep breath. Now let's take a commune. He was so right with that, it actually amused me. I wished I had thought of it. We go beyond just taking a deep breath, in other words, just surviving and being present, now into being interactive, and more than that, creatively interactive with all energies. So let's take a deep commune with that. Yes, Sam, with his talking about communing is the new breath, the new breathing. And our dear friend, Kuthumi. I liked what he said also. In his encounter with Akira, his soul, he was so mad at his soul. Could you imagine that, being mad at your soul? Yes. Yeah. A lot of good it does you. He was so mad at his soul. He set up his soul to be the enemy. I mean, it was truly the enemy. And there were times when he realized it was his soul, but other times he thought it was the devil, a demon, and he set up the soul to be his enemy. But he finally did what some of the things we'll talk about today. He finally got to the point of being able to hear the commune from his soul saying, Kuthumi, it is not what you believe. It is what you allow. And there is such a big difference between the two, such a big difference. It's not what you believe. The mind can make up all sorts of beliefs. It's not about that. Your beliefs are not going to get you much of anywhere, except in a box. It is rather about what you allow, what you're willing to open yourself to. And allowing, of course, is the openness between you and the I am, you and the master. Allowing this integration to occur, allowing them into your life. It's not what you believe. Beliefs are entanglements for the most part, delusions. Beliefs are limited. Beliefs are very temporary. It's not what you believe, it's what you allow. And what you're really allowing is the greatest love story to be told. Not the greatest love story that was ever told, but the greatest love story to be told between you and the I am. I do love I'm not always a fan of the music that's selected, but I do love this video because it so depicts the beauty, the absolute beauty. And it's also interesting to note here, not that it was designed this way, but it turned out this way. You know, the Father is blind. The Father is blind. And so is the Master. The Master is blind to the human weaknesses, to the human biases. The Master is blind to anything that's been done by the human in the past. It doesn't care. It's not judging. It's not even trying to teach. It's not trying to improve the human. The Master is blind to everything except the joy and the love it has for the human. Maybe we'll play this again before the end of our session. Just depends how far we get. Linda with the microphone, please.
Oh boy.
It's time for our first interaction.
Be afraid.
This is kind of interesting, and again, not a test. This is more kind of a benchmark, seeing where we're at. 3 awarenesses that you have right now. 3 awarenesses that you have. So, Linda, let's begin. Everybody's like, what does that mean? Take a deep breath. 3 awarenesses that are in your life right now. In your life, just kind of now. 3 awarenesses. You're thinking way too much, dear. I love you, but you're thinking so much. They're right there.
I'm so alive.
You're so alive.
I'm just so alive.
Yeah.
And just feeling so sensual and happy. And I feel margin. There you go. There's 3.
Good. I love that. Good. And you just let it out. Good. Thank you. 3 awarenesses that are in your life. Don't think about them too much.
That everything's about to change.
Good. How do you feel that?
It kind of feels like things are crumbling apart.
Yes, good.
But not...
No, I say good, but I'll
Yeah.
explain in just a moment.
Okay.
It is good. It's wonderful. Are you afraid? Yes.
Not really. Anxiety
Anxiety. Okay.
comes and goes.
Sure.
Sometimes I feel really open to it and in grace with it. Other
Yes.
times I feel like I'm having anxiety attacks.
Good.
So-
Oh, excellent. I love that. Yes. So that's one awareness.
So breathing is
Things are
huge.
going to change. And I guess anybody could say that, but you know they're really going to change.
Big time. Yeah.
Big time. Yeah. Good. Next. 3 awarenesses.
That I'm definitely feeling things more.
Yes.
Yes.
Scary?
No.
Yeah. No. Oh, good.
Feels relaxing.
A lot of the Shaumbra I've been visiting lately are they're feeling that it's scary. They're just feeling so much. They don't know how to deal with it. And it's very simple. When you're feeling too much and you're thinking about it, then you're in the mind and it gets stuck. Don't think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Good.
Yeah.
Famous last words. What else? 3 awarenesses.
I'm integrating a lot.
Ah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of commotion going on. Commotion going
Yeah.
on. Oh, good. Yeah, you're going to do fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll explain why.
Okay.
Yeah, good. This is going better than I thought it would.
More?
Three awarenesses.
More?
Oh, sure. That look. That I love you, Linda look. 3 awarenesses.
My health.
What's happening to your health?
Well, I've had incidents over the last year that I haven't had previously.
Yeah.
Raised questions about my mortality and
Yeah.
my choice.
Well, your mortality is limited.
Yeah, I
guess.
realize
Yeah.
that. But that I am, I'm choosing to live. And
What was your health issue, if you don't mind me asking?
well, I had a couple of them, but I did have a pacemaker put in 2 months ago.
Wow.
Because my heart rate was running in the low 40s.
Right.
And then I've got a thyroid nodule I have to see a surgeon about on Tuesday. A couple of smaller issues that brought my health into focus.
Yeah. Good. That's one awareness. What's another?
That I am with a group of people with whom I feel totally comfortable and accepted.
Okay. Third awareness. Here or?
Here.
Yeah, here. Good. And third awareness.
That I am more capable of experiencing love than I ever realized before.
Ah, good. So now there's probably no connection to the heart issue and love. I don't.
He's got potential.
Yeah. I'm sure there's not. But do you think maybe just that you're getting rid of some very old issues related to love, and you've had some experiences, interesting experiences with that, and some difficult experiences that were really blocked, really pent up in you. So suddenly you go into a health crisis, which gets you to thinking that you're really surrounded by love and you're starting to feel love, and there's more. It's more than love that you're starting to feel, but it's so interconnected. And here you're safe. But so I got to say, and the human may want to spit on me, but these health issues are the best thing that could happen to you.
I agree.
Good. Oh, she spit for you.
I do agree.
Okay, good. And it's hell to go through at times, especially when you think, what's wrong with me? But if you say, I understand what's happening to me, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
Thank you.
Excellent. This is going much better than I thought.
More?
3 awarenesses.
More?
Sure, we'll do a couple more.
Well, I'm alive.
Yeah, that's good. I mean,
Breathing.
but you really feel that, or you just saying it? I mean, you really feel that, like, I am alive, like she did?
What is occurring now is there's an extraction, and it's visceral.
Yeah, extraction of.
A 3-year situation with a work scenario.
Yeah.
That was a non-stop roller coaster.
Okay, what's the awareness though from this? You're alive. Something's being extracted.
It's breaking away from old cycles,
Yeah. It
and
either is or it
creating
isn't.
new.
Not a perhaps. Okay.
creating the new.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to a brand new scenario that is a possibility this week, and it is a 180 degrees from what I'm pulling out of right now.
You know what? I got to break in here. You just plan way too much. You just think and plan, and I got a surprise for you today.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. What's your third awareness?
Love.
And how?
Breaking out of the gray and
Yeah.
and really being able to
I mean, you're doing it or you
Feeling-
want it?
both.
You're doing it. How?
One is being aware of that.
No, I mean, you got a new partner, or what's going on with love?
Really loving myself and knowing what that is. What is that anyway? Just discovering that. It's new territory.
You realize I am so good at detecting Macchio. Oh, I love it. You're walking right into my trap today. And that's good. Let yourself come into the trap. Let yourself be extracted or whatever. Let yourself be ground to a pulp, and you'll be fine. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I can feel the desire, and that's the good thing. I can truly feel the human desire, but I can also feel the human weariness and frustration, and when's this ever going to end? And all. Today, you could say this is made for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, but let's cut the crap. No, really, you know, when we were at our recent gathering in Slovenia, I made a statement to Shambra. We're about 97% Macchio free. 97%, that's come a long way. But before you cheer and applaud too much, just 3% is enough to upset the apple cart, so to speak. No, it doesn't take much Macchio. Macchio is so seductive and so penetrating. It just takes a little bit to ruin a lot. So we're getting there, but 3%, in my opinion, is still about 2.9999% too much. We got to go almost no Macchio. So let's cut the Macchio. You know, let's cut it because we know why we're here.
What is Macchio again?
It's spiritual distraction. It's somewhat delusional. It's a blanket that lays over truth. But why wouldn't one want to pull back the blanket and see the truth? I don't know. But we know why we're here. We know what we're doing here in this lifetime. This is not difficult. We discuss it all the time. We know what's happening next. We know what's happening next. You looked at me with that. What the heck are you talking about? I'll talk about it today. I'll show you today. We know what's happening next. And it's not good or bad. It doesn't even fall into duality. It's just happening next. It's, well, I'll explain it. And if you would, just commune. Take a good deep commune. Don't plan so much. Don't worry so much. You're going to find out you're going to do absolutely incredible if you get the hell out of the way. No, really, really. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me be my typical abusive self. I didn't get to do that in Slovenia. I got 2 months worth of needing to be obnoxious stored up inside me. 3 awarenesses.
Joy, excitement, and fear.
Oh, good. What's the joy about?
Glad to be here.
Glad to be here, yeah. What happens when you leave here? Does the joy go away?
No,
Oh, good. And what's the fear about being here? Yeah,
the unknown that I think I need to know.
yeah. There's some other stuff going on in your life, though. Awareness is going on in your life. There's one going on here that I can see so clearly.
Lots of changes in the last while.
Good. Yes. And do you ever wonder if these changes are ever going to end?
Change keeps happening.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Do you ever wonder, when is the change just going to stop? When am I going to settle into my new, higher being, embodied master self?
I think there's always going to be lots of moving parts. That's my sense.
Yes, good sense, good awareness, a lot of moving parts. Yeah, but parts can move harmoniously. They can move while communing, or parts can be crashing into each other. Yeah. And I think
That's
what
true.
we're desiring is these parts to be moving in harmony. You don't want non-movement or non-change. Movement, like if you have an orchestra, you don't want them just sitting there, but you want everything to kind of come together and move in a beautiful, unplanned creation.
Yes,
Yeah,
I see
good.
that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Good. One more. One good one. Oh, Linda's got that microphone. She's running. She's running. She's over in Superior now.
Telepathically sense you'll come to me. So that's
Yeah.
why, yeah. All right. Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
I think the first is just being, I guess, authentic and trying to follow some of the precepts that you folks have and others has made me extremely calm inside, like well and truly just blissful.
Yeah.
The other that people have picked up on, you just feel love, and it's very hard to explain it or to say what it is. I just feel joy being inside myself.
Every
joy.
day, all the time?
All the time.
Wow.
Just all the time.
Okay.
All the time. And the third I would say is that I feel some responsibility and awareness that there is light and energy and love that can also be pushed out. And I feel that responsibility, call it, and I'm kind of trying to work with that.
Yeah. I got to ask, though, why do I pick up on this sense of frustration?
No, it's just I'm just a bit nervous about standing with the mic.
Oh, no, I'm not just talking about right here with the mic. In your life, let's say, generally in the last month or so, I just sense a frustration.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. I'm not frustrated. I'm blissful.
I must be wrong.
Blissful as a bunny. Blissful as a bunny. Well, okay, since you've picked up, I think the frustration would be that, no, I think, but it's the same frustration everyone here has, that we want to connect with the master and we're just struggling. I can think that's the only frustration I have.
Yeah. Impatience, maybe. I shouldn't have
Impatience
said.
yes.
I shouldn't have said frustration. It's impatience.
Yeah, it's
Frustrating
that we've all got to
impatience.
work through the process, and I guess we all feel it should come a bit faster than it
Yeah.
probably will, and that's the only one.
Want it to happen faster?
Doesn't really matter, actually.
It doesn't matter, but
it doesn't matter, actually.
Okay.
It's just the
like,
human part saying, yeah, let's
say
bring it on.
Nobody's watching, nobody's listening, but how many of you kind of secretly just wanted this to go faster? Just get it? Yeah. Yeah. How many want to just keep in this, kind of awakening to mastery stage for, I don't know, another 20, 30 years? I think everybody wants it to go faster. Yeah.
That's the only one, so yeah.
Yeah.
That's
good.
my three.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I asked to get started 3 awarenesses. I wanted to see how aware you are. I wanted to see if it was a lot of surface kind of stuff or if there's really some awarenesses, and I have to say, there's some good awarenesses. Another reason I open with this question, 3 awarenesses, stop thinking singular. Stop thinking just one level. Somebody says, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing good. And you're really not. But give them back 3 answers. Really confuse them. And because, let's see, joy, love, and fear. How is that possible? Start feeling into things on multiple levels all the time. And the human is going to kind of resist that. It doesn't really like it. It likes the singular, flat. What are you aware of? Oh, I'm aware of that. I'm kind of tired and kind of bored. Start feeling in, because you could have those levels. This is the and. You could have that level of being frustrated or irritated, but also have levels where you realize there is tremendous change going on right now. The biggest thing I'm aware of with all of you is that you're feeling this kind of dissolving effect, or things moving, you could say breaking down or going away. You almost feel kind of like everything's deteriorating very quickly. And it's not really like what you felt before when you're releasing. This one's a little different. This one's you feel like your parts and pieces are falling off, or things are just kind of coming apart. And that's a very natural feeling right now. Just feeling that, while you're also trying to find, where am I? Where's my core? What's this all about? There's tremendous movement right now that's occurring, particularly as the master, the human are integrating. A lot of old stuff is going away. A lot of the facade that you put up, the identity of yourself is rapidly changing, kind of collapsing. Where in the past that might have really scared you and said, what's happening? Why is my life is falling apart? Right now, you have more wisdom. So you're realizing that's what's happening right now is a lot of this falling away of yourself is actually very, very appropriate. It's actually meant to be. It's actually an indication that you're exactly where you should be right now. So all of you are feeling changes at a level. Not all of you said that, but enough of you did. You're feeling changes because everything is moving, everything is flowing. There's this incredible, some would say almost impossible metamorphosis taking place. Transition, integration, all at the same time. And the human is going to feel out of sorts. The human is going to really wonder what's going on at times, and other times kind of rejoice in it. The human is going to, I would say, going to go need to take a long hot bath, eat your comfort food, sit in front of the telly with wrapped in blankets every once in a while all this is going on. It's an amazing transformation, but what I note and that I'm really particularly delighted about is in the past, if this were happening, you would freak out and wonder what's wrong and get all caught up in all that. Now you realize you have an awareness at a level that something is shifting and changing, not where you're going to live or what's your next job, but I mean something within at monumental levels is shifting and changing, and you're actually pretty okay with it. Moments of panic and anxiety, but pretty okay with it all in all. That's a beautiful thing. It means we've come a long, long way. And, well, let's transition into the next part of the talk. Just be with that for a moment. Commune with all the changes going on. Next part of the talk. The human might get a little upset about this. Yeah, for the first time, right? I've said before that you don't really have a destiny. You know, and I loved astrology. I studied it for many, many lifetimes. I loved it. But you know, it's the first time ever publicly admitting this, but I finally threw out all the books, threw them out, got rid of everything about astrology because I got very frustrated after studying it deeply for many lifetimes. I got very frustrated because it didn't explain everything. It wasn't a nice, neat, easy, clean mathematical equation. And I kept on finding things that were wrong with it. Why doesn't this work? If you're a Pisces or you're a Cancer and you're born on these dates, and I'd do all the charts and everything back then. We didn't have your fancy computers. I'd have to do it by hand. I'd do all the charts, and it still didn't make sense. So I finally had to throw them all out. I got sick and tired of it. You know how some of you, perhaps if you're golfers, you know, you golf all your life, and one day you just get so frustrated you take that bag of clubs and throw it into the pond and say, never again, I'm tired of chasing the stupid ball. It was kind of one of those moments. Done with astrology. I realized later, for a lot of reasons, is that, first of all, astrology doesn't take into account a lot of things, like past lives. Astrology doesn't take into account points of separation. The awakening, for instance. You really have to factor that in because it changes everything. And astrology doesn't take into account hidden potentials, potentials that are behind the stars, so to speak, that could come out with just a little moving, a little shaking. But astrology also bothered me because many people believed, as I did for a while, that there was a star destiny, that you were destined to certain things based on the stars, based on your birth date and everything else. I actually realized pretty quick that it wasn't a firm destiny, but it was too firm for my taste. Why should one be born under the influence of stars, and I know some of you astrologers out there are screaming right now, but get over astrology. I did. Drop it. I realized that it confined a person, particularly if they really believed in it. And they thought, these are the tools that I have. This is what's going to happen to me in my lifetime. This is what I'm destined to do. A couple of years ago, I said, there is no destiny. There's no destiny. There's no stars that are... You're all the signs and many other signs. You know, they talk about 12 signs of astrology. I discovered... wasn't published ever, but I discovered there was actually 144, and probably many beyond that, astrology. So I didn't like the concept that a person was destined. And I know some of you are thinking, well, no, they're just influences. Yeah, but people who really study their own astrology or look at their own astrology then take it as a destiny. I said, there's no destiny. You're free. You are free beings to choose whatever you want. But there's one thing I left out. There's one exception, well, actually 1.5 exceptions of that. And that's one of the things I'd like to talk about today, a soul destiny. And it's not so bad. Some of you are like really feeling anxious and like a soul destiny. Let's start with the premise that you came to this planet, you took on a lot of lifetimes, the human took on a lot of lifetimes of experience. You finally got to the point, maybe it was last lifetime, probably, some of you this lifetime, but you got to the point and said, no more, that's it. I've experienced what there is to experience. I have gone through love and I've gone through hate. I've been a pauper. I've been a prophet. Isn't there a song about that? I've been all these things, and I've had it. Most of the time when you said that, it was kind of in disgust. It wasn't like a feeling of bliss and fulfillment. It was like, this is it. This planet sucks. I don't want to be here anymore. That set up this lifetime, changed the dynamics for when you would come in, the family, the path that you would take, and everything else. Some of you actually didn't hit that point of disgust until this lifetime, maybe when you're in your late teens, early adulthood, or whenever. And you said, "That's it. I'm done. I'm done." That was the human calling out to the master and to spirit, although they didn't realize it at the time, calling out and saying, "Finay, I'm off of this." And you have every right, the human has every right to say, I'm done with this. Because the master and the I am would never say, no, you got to go back for more. It's up to the human to say, I'm done. That began the awakening. And it was, in a way, for many of you, in your awakening, you felt this tremendous kind of release and relief. Because you're done. That's it. Now all you have to do is pack up your belongings and walk out the door, kind of. Then you start this whole path into what I call mastery. It's the allowing of the wisdom. You're done, but before you leave, you got to allow in the wisdom, the master. Part of you, you're kind of in a conflict because part of you is like, I just want to get out of here. And I just want to go back into my sovereign domain. And part of you is like, ooh, yeah, I can be a human and a master. I can know everything. I can create anything I want. Maybe I'll stay around for a little while longer and see what that's about. But back to my point. You've never had destiny before. However, in this whole time from awakening into mastery, there is a destiny. There's a destiny. The destiny comes in several different ways, but first, the moment you say, I'm done, the human, hear me, master, I am, the human is done with all this, the moment you say that, you are actualized. Actualized meaning it is done. all the integration, all the enlightenment, all the realization, you are actualized. Meaning that the moment you say that, there occurs in what I would call the potential. You would probably call it the future. But it is already done. It's there. So you are done with all of your lifetimes. You are actualized at that point. You are actually enlightened. Tobias said it way back, I think in your second or third series with him. He said, you've already ascended. Now you just find out what it's like to get there. And to many, it's still an intellectual concept, but it's very, very true. You're already ascended. So that's done. There's nothing else you need to do. But the funny thing is that the human keeps thinking there's something else to do, that you haven't learned something, that there's a lesson, that there's a secret key that you have to find. None at all. None at all. So you're now, it's actualized, but you haven't actually realized it yet. In other words, you're still the human, still trying to do enlightenment, still trying to plan it and create it and guide it and manage it and everything else. You're gonna laugh at yourself one day, if not today, and say, I just needed to get out of the way and allow it. But the human almost can't help themselves, so they have to keep working at it. And you do, I'm seeing these new, it's kind of a new phenomenon. It's called allowing mantras. I'm seeing Schomburg go to bed at night, I allow, I allow, I allow. Like looking at him going, you're not allowing? Your sphincter is tight. You're back to, your sphincter is tight. You're back to praying. You're back to all the rest of that. Just allow. You know how easy allowing is? Just allow. That's it. Jeez. There's a certain destiny that takes place, though. And I really didn't want to talk about it till now because you'd have gotten really upset with me about it or misunderstood it. But there's a beautiful destiny that takes place. The moment you say, I'm done, last lifetime, and you go from awakening into mastery. The destiny now is that the master starts to come in. And the master, of course, I call it the master, but it's really wisdom. That's all it is. Wisdom of all the lifetimes and this. The master comes in and, in a sense, guides your life. In a way. The master comes in and will not allow things in your life that the human might have done. You see, the human so often is, their life is based on needs and wants. The human life is based on ego and identity. The human life is based on things like, I got to get a better paying job, I got to look younger, I got to do human things. And the master doesn't care right now. The master is blind. The master doesn't care. But the master comes in now in a way to form your destiny. You are going to make it into realization because you've opened. You've said, done with human lives, allowing to a degree of the master comes in. It's frustrating to the human at times because there's things you plan, you think are going to happen. There's things that the human says it needs, money, a partner, more energy. No, you don't need more energy. Well, not whatsoever. You just need to be more efficient with what you have. So the human would get into this whole thing now in planning and doing their life, and the master just, I don't want to say isn't going to allow it. The master plays interference and keeps that human from distracting itself during this time of going into mastery. That's why sometimes the things that the human wants don't work out. That's why the human gets very frustrated. Why isn't this working? I thought I was a creator. Not right now. I mean, you are, but right now, you put it out there. You made a choice to go into realization. And in a way, you could say you've signed an agreement with the master, with your wisdom, saying that you're going to let that master keep you from just going totally human right now. This is a very delicate time. Very, very delicate. And it's a time where Makyo, just a little bit of Makyo can throw you way off the path. This is the time where the human starts to scream. What about this? What about that? I'm feeling awful. I don't know what to do. The master is not going to let you get distracted right now in a bad relationship or a bad job or any of that. So there is a destiny. It was one of the levels I was wondering if somebody would be aware of right now. I feel like almost like a magnet pulling me. I feel like that, there's something else controlling all of this, making all this happen. I don't know what it is or where it's coming from, but I feel that, and in a way I really like it, but in another way, damn it, it's interfering with my freedom. It's infringing on my freedom. Absolutely, it is, because you gave it permission. And by the way, that was a one-way permission. You cannot take it back. No, you can't. You can't say one day that you're going to give this permission, your last lifetime, give this permission for the master to really kind of guide your life right now. I mean, the master's not going to come in and give you money or anything like that, but the master will make sure you don't go off on these rabbit trails. You don't go off into some huge distraction. It's actually pretty beautiful when you think about it, when you feel into it. So there is a destiny that's occurring right now in a very beautiful way. There is that magnetic, something like it's just drawing you, it's just moving you through things. Some of you have had the experience lately that in a way you're trying to plan all this stuff and do all this stuff and it keeps falling apart and not working, and then when you just let go, something is guiding you along, and sometimes you want to say it's spirit guides or it's UFOs or whatever. It is truly the destiny of the soul. It's the master guiding you, making sure you don't get too distracted, and also that you don't kill yourself right now. That you don't do something so hazardous as to jeopardize this beautiful new life that is coming into being. So I have to ask the question here, a couple of questions. There is the only other time you've had this sort of destiny in all of your lifetimes on earth was when you first got here. First couple of lifetimes, there was kind of a destiny that you were going to integrate with matter. It was because you agreed to it. So there were some things that overrode what would be your human choices. This is the only other time that there is that soul destiny. And I say that because you're frustrated right now to some degree. Why isn't this working different? Why doesn't this work out when I try it? Stop for a moment. Commune with the I am, with the master. They're helping guide you into the realization of what has actually already been actualized in what you would call the future, your realization. It's a beautiful thing, actually, in a way. You realize, I don't have to work at this. I just get to experience it. I don't have to fill it with a bunch of philosophy and Makyo, and I don't have to worry about tomorrow. I don't have to worry what's going to happen next. I don't have to worry about it one bit. One bit. You're being guided. So I got to ask the question, just for fun. Where would you be right now if you didn't have this destiny, if it was all up to the human in realization? Where would you be right now? Linda, on the microphone, please. Yeah, where would you be if it was up to the human?
I would probably be driving a Ferrari.
Oh, driving a Ferrari, good.
But mostly I would be in some type of how can I say, as in like a guide or like a leader or like a movement.
Like a guru, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Or
Yeah,
a CEO.
Yeah. CEO. Yeah. Big shot.
Yeah, a big shot that would do something that, like, in the human perspective, would be like, how can I say, very helpful.
You're right. Right. Yeah. Okay. So, would you be on your spiritual path?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Like I can get away.
Yeah. So you'd be like a CEO driving a Ferrari, but on your spiritual path.
Or think that he is.
I think that is. That's a good answer because there's a parallel path, the path the human would have taken that's not being lived out, but it's there. It's the parallel path that the human trying to design their own enlightenment, and it's fun for a little while. You get to drive Ferraris, and you know what's really fun about it? Power. You get into
Exactly.
all
That's
this
exactly.
power. Oh my God, it's so addictive, and the human loves that, and then it thinks it's really doing something.
Yes,
because
by using power to better the world.
yeah, but better the world. I mean, I've heard those words. I haven't really met many people, including Mother Teresa, that is trying to better the world. They're really trying to better
ego.
themselves. And I've never really met many that have been trying to really better the world. It's a great BS line, trying to better the world. Would you mind giving some money? I'm trying to better the world. It's like a great big ego thing. And who tries to better the? I didn't say it. Who tries to better the world? What's wrong with these people that are trying to better the world?
They want to get acceptance from the other people.
Yeah, they're into power.
They
I'm
think
going to
that-
make the world a better place.
Worship me.
Yeah. Oh, but you know really what happens the moment that you're trying to better the world? It's going to try to better you. Whoops. That's the principle of compassion. True compassion is allowing all things to be, allowing the world to be what it is. I mean, here in the U.S., I know you're in the middle of elections because when Calder and Linda have the TV on, that's all I hear, and there's such a lack of compassion going on. The moment you try to change others or the world, it will change you. It's kind of a nice little fun mirror effect, so it'll come back on you. The true master has total compassion, which means acceptance, from the beggar on the street corner to anybody. Total compassion. Hey, it's your journey, bub. You want to change it? Do what I did. Said last lifetime, and then things really truly change. So where were we?
Ferrari.
A Ferrari. Okay. Ferrari. That's okay. That's a big one. Okay. Thank you. So you would be on a spiritual path, but it'd be different than this.
Yeah, it would be much more like about the human, about the ego, and
Yeah.
mostly power.
Mostly power under the
Entirely
guise.
power, I mean.
Under the guise of I'm on my spiritual path.
Exactly.
Okay. Not so bad. It's an interesting experience.
Did you see his super cool belt buckle?
I did. Yes. Yeah.
Super cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. Next.
Thank you.
Next.
Let's see. Oh, I
So
can
if
feel
it was
somebody
left to the
begging for
human,
money.
where would you be right now?
Let me see.
Linda's looking for a new victim. Where would you be right now? If it was left to the human.
Definitely working a lot, so serious, tons of money, corporate world,
Yeah.
just in the machine.
Yeah. What about your spiritual path?
I think it would be very mental.
Uh-huh.
I know it would be very
Right.
mental.
Yeah. Yep. Good. And would that be better than the path you're on now?
It'd be different.
If you did, right? Yeah. What would you do with all that money?
Probably spend more and stress more and
Yeah.
want
Would you be
more and
happier?
ego. No.
Would you be happier?
It's a different, it might be a perception of happy.
Could be. Yeah, and I'm not making any judgments. I've seen many who've gone this path, this route, that, for a while it's actually a lot of fun, and it is all about power, and it's a great game, but one day it comes crashing down. It absolutely blows up because it's not It's not really genuine, and I'll explain in a minute why it comes crashing down, but it does, big time. Good, one more.
Okay. You would buy her pants that fit better.
Commenting on fashion here in the
Yes,
studio?
it was, as a matter of fact. Oh, geez.
Oh, you knew she was going to bring that microphone. So, what if the human was directing this whole thing?
Well, I'd probably be in that circle of attempting relationships outside of myself to
Yeah.
prove that I wasn't good enough to sustain them and I would never be loved.
Yes. Oh, wow, wow. Well, and how was your spiritual path all this time?
I would still be on the spiritual path trying to prove to people it was worthy of a path.
Be on a spiritual path, going to other people for answers.
Yes.
And we don't allow that here. I'm not giving you any of you answers. I'm provoking you and annoying the hell out of you. But every answer, everything that comes up is from within you. And what I've seen happen also in this kind of the faux realization is that there is a clinging on to a dependency for groups, and particularly groups that tell you what to do and how to think and how to dress and how much to donate. It is a great kind of it distracts you from really looking within, because now it's like, can I follow all the rules? Can I wear the right thing? Can I mantra right? Can I meditate right? Can I breathe right? It's a great distraction, because the human thinks, see, I'm being spiritual, I'm suffering, so I got to be spiritual, and it's totally different. What else would be happening if if you didn't have this spiritual destiny, the soul destiny?
I would be thinking there was still something out there I needed to do.
Yes.
To
Do you think
prove
that?
myself.
Do you think that now?
No, I don't now.
Okay,
I mean,
good.
I did for a very long time. I mean,
Yeah.
a project that, oh my God, I'm not good enough. I haven't finished it. I haven't don't complete anything.
Yeah, what's
all
wrong
of
with
that
me?
stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was thinking when I sat down here, I thought this is the first time I've been back in a group for a very long time, because I stepped away, because I was in those groups and I
Yeah.
was always thinking there was something
So
more.
I got to ask you, just between you and me. So what about this group?
They're happy. This
They're-
group is happy. There's smile, there's love in their eyes, they're welcoming, they're beautiful.
How about, this is how I don't know about happy.
Maybe
What I would
irritated
say,
a bit.
what
but-
I noticed with Shaumbra is they're aware. There is an awareness that you don't see in most other humans, and I love that, because they're just more aware. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good.
I've been a Shaumbra.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So let's feel into that for a moment. And thank you, Linda. Let's feel into that for a moment. This whole thing of a kind of a soul destiny. That from the moment you say, no more, last lifetime, I'm done with the experiences, you've got the master not telling you what to do, it's not like a spirit guide or anything like that, but the master is keeping you on the path, keeping you from getting distracted, from going off the path. And sometimes it's very, very frustrating, because you want your freedom. You want to think that you're making all the choices. You want to think that you can do whatever in the hell you want. But feel into this for a moment. In spite of that potential frustration, when you said, I'm done, this is it, time for realization, and the master, the wisdom moved in and has kept you from a tremendous amount of ultimate aches and pains, isn't that a beautiful thing? Isn't that truly beautiful? I go back to the video that we watched before. Isn't that truly beautiful? That you have this level of guidance and protection. I guess that would be even a better word, this level of protection, to assure that you will have your realization, to assure that you'll have the integration of the master and the human. What a beautiful thing. It leads to a discussion about spiritual, no, about not spiritual, wrong word, Caldra. It leads to discussion about maturity. Maturity. Up to now, or up to relatively recently, you didn't have the maturity to do a lot of things. The maturity, and what happens in all of this, going from awakening into mastery, is the immaturity within you is exposed big time, and it hurts at times. That was one of the other things I thought potentially would come out when we were talking about levels of awareness. It's been pretty high on levels of realization lately. It's been showing up in your dreams. The immaturities are being exposed. The immaturity is basically a lack of wisdom. It's not a bad thing, it's just immature. Immaturity is a lack of or a limitation of perspective and perception. Being so narrow, so narrow in things that you're not feeling into all the different levels. You're not aware of everything that's really going on. That's my definition of immaturity. It goes back to the premise that there is no reality, there's no life, unless perception is present. Nothing exists unless consciousness is here. But consciousness or perception can come at many, many different levels. It's not an all or nothing. There can be very limited levels of perception, self-imposed, limited levels of perception, which I would call immature. So focused on just surviving, just so focused on the ego, so focused on your aches and pains, your wounds and everything else, that you become very immature, very limited in perception. What's happening right now in this movement that we've talked about earlier, you're feeling all these shifts and changes coming about. It's all to make room for the master, but it's also exposing the immaturities. It's exposing the places where you've been self-limiting in your awareness. And now it's opening up. And if you understand that, then it's not so frightening. If you allow it, you begin to realize why it's there and what's happening. But without that knowingness, it can be very disconcerting right now. And that's why, in particular, dreams right now are just all over the place. And just feelings that everything is changing and what's going on. Your immaturities are being exposed. The human doesn't particularly like to be told that they have a destiny. Not you, not your type. Other humans, yeah, they do, but you actually don't. You rebel against it. I'm not going to let anybody tell me what to do, kind of a mindset. But you've given yourself this opportunity for this guidance because as you have this kind of protection, not quite the right word, but it's an assurance. You have an assurance policy and your own realization. What happens is you start developing, you start allowing in wisdom. I call it the master, but it's just wisdom, and you're allowing that into your life. And as you do now, you develop the maturity, the ability to open up, to perceive on a multiple variety of levels and awarenesses in your life. As you bring in the wisdom, you also bring in the maturity, and with the maturity, you start releasing the soul destiny. In other words, it doesn't need to keep you from going errant, falling off the road, or whatever you want to call it. Suddenly, that destiny is replaced by pure wisdom, pure, beautiful wisdom. And you break free of that soul destiny, or you let it go. It doesn't need to be there anymore. And suddenly you start to assume you start to bring in this whole, maturity into your life. Wisdom and human experience combined together. A whole new maturity, and that is what's happening right now. And it will be perfectly balanced to the level of the soul destiny, this thing that's your assurance that you're not going to get terribly distracted. As you bring in the wisdom, that level of that destiny is released, it's peeled away, it falls away. That's another thing that you're feeling right now in this falling away and the changes. And it's replaced by your wisdom now. I mean, your meaning the master in you. It's replaced by the wisdom. And in that, again, you cannot make mistakes. You cannot go wrong. It's an old human fear. I'm going to do the wrong thing. Right now, you cannot. You got a history of doing the wrong things, but right now you can't. You're in the protection mode, the assurance mode. Let's take a good deep breath with that and commune with that wisdom that's coming in. And one of the first wisdoms that you really start to feel into is just allowing. Allowing. That's what allows in more wisdom. That's it. It's really quite simple. Let's take a good deep breath with that and really feel into it. Before we go any further, let's replay the video you had at the beginning here. Let's replay that. But before we do, really feel into it on a variety of levels. Feel into it right now, particularly on that level of the human and the master. And let yourself be very, very sensual. Let yourself feel at very deep levels. And all that means is open up and allow. So let's play it again. So, okay, right there, you had it. What's happening? Opening the door, allowing. So simple. Opening the door. And when the door opens, in this case, the allowing, the master and the wisdom, the master and the human come together. The allowing, the wisdom. You don't need to fight life anymore. What it means is now you have the maturity. You have the wisdom. You're not going to go wrong. The human is not going to go wrong. As a matter of fact, the human is now entering into new sensual experience. Watch what happens.
I thought sooner or later the lights up above will come down in circles and God made a love.
Boom, stop right there.
But I don't know what's right for
I'm going to
me.
drive you crazy back there. Hey, could you back up to that opening line? I love that. This is good. Okay. I thought sooner or later the lights up above would come down in circles and guide me to love. Oh, that's the master coming in. That's the wisdom coming in. That's the knowingness that has always been there. But with that came the destiny. You let the master in, or you got together with the master and said, last lifetime, and you allowed this destiny to take place. The human at times has gotten very angry, very upset. What the hell's happening to me? And how come I can't make this work? And how come it's not happening faster? Thank goodness, thank God for this destiny of the master. I don't know what's right for me. I cannot see straight. Does that ring a bell? Now, I didn't write the lyrics, but I kind of helped. So let's continue on, and I'm sorry to back at the production desk.
I cannot see straight. I've been here too long, and I don't want to wait.
Stop right there. Okay, and back up a little bit. Okay. Does this say it all, or what? Yeah. I've been here too long. I don't want to wait for it. Does that... okay, I had a hand in writing the lyrics, but let's continue.
Don't want to wait for it. Fly like a cannonball straight to my soul. Tear me to pieces and
okay, we got to stop there. Okay. Now, you didn't really say tear me to pieces, but... you're going to have to stick with me on this one because we're going to keep stopping and starting. Something about tearing me to pieces. You kind of agreed to that, and it happened. And, that was part of the destiny, the soul destiny. The human would have gone along building itself up and up and up. It would have bought Maseratis, and it would have been rich and CEOs and tried to be a guru eventually. It's all a freaking power game, and there is no power actually anywhere, but there's certainly no power in true realization. Okay, I'm going to find it carry its weight. Good. You say I'm willing to fight for it and carry its weight. I don't think so. But you tried. Okay.
But with every step I keep questioning.
Okay, this is so true. This is so true. I mean... This is so true. I kept questioning every step of the way. I mean, and what should be inserted in that line there? And it kept on bothering Adamus every night, wanting him to answer my questions and getting mad at Adamus. I had to take those lines out because it would have made the song too long. But okay, and not just come to me. Let's get together. Let's have coffee. Fall on me. I mean, dear master, just frickin' fall on me because. I don't know any way to do it other than that. Let's not be nice about it. Just boom, fall on me. And it did. And it really hurt sometimes. And the human got really upset. And said, what the hell's happening? I'm being suffocated by this big thing on top of me. It was the master. Fall on me. In other words, bring it on full force because otherwise I'm going to stay in my human condition. I'm done with that. I'm ready. Okay, let's continue.
Fall on me. With open arms, fall on
and once again, once again, the master is blind, as here the Father is blind. The master is blind. It's such a beautiful metaphor, saying that there's no judgment. You don't have to hide from anything. Actually, if the human was going to do anything, if you felt you had to occupy yourself and make yourself worthy, it's receive forgiveness. Because the human feels damn guilty about everything. The human thinks that even the master is going to judge it. Did you realize how crazy that sounds? The human still thinks the master is going to judge the humans. Oh, you've done some bad stuff in this lifetime. I've been watching. And the master is blind to all that. If there's anything you do, receive forgiveness for being a human. Just receive it from the I am. Receive it for being in the human condition. Because the I am doesn't care and the master doesn't care. They really don't. But the human does. Let's continue.
From where you are, fall on me.
Boom, like that.
with all your light, with all your light, with all your light. Presto una luce ti illuminerà.
Okay, let's stop here for a moment.
Segui la
So now the master is singing back, a light is going to shine on you. But the master is wondering, are you going to really let it in? Are you feeling worthy enough? But the master is like, I'm going to bring this tremendous light. Light is, in this case, wisdom. I'm going to bring it to you. I'm going to deliver it to you. Are you going to be ready for it? Okay. Follow it always, and it will always guide you. And that's the thing I talked about, your spiritual, or your, not the word spiritual, your destiny, your soul destiny. Follow it and allow it. It will guide you. It'll make sure that this is going to happen in this lifetime, the realization. A realization of something that's actually already been actualized, already done. Okay, let's continue. I get so...
sempre guidarti saprà, tu non arrenderti, attento a
Okay,
non
gotta stop
perderti.
here. Dissect this thing. Anybody relate to that? Don't get lost, and you're not going to with that beautiful soul destiny. You're not going to. Oh, let's keep going.
E il tuo passato avrà
Okay, I got to
senso.
stop here. And your past will make. I don't know how you were going to edit all this, but your past will make sense to you. Right now, it really doesn't. You know, it's a series of idiotic events that took place. It's experiences, and it doesn't make any sense. But the master is saying, I'm the wisdom. I will bring it in. We will make sense out of all this. I mean, it will come to sense. We're not going to intellectualize it. But suddenly you'll wake up one morning and it's like, oh my gosh. It was so simple. That's all it was. Okay, let's continue.
Per te vorrei che credessi in te stesso, ma sì, in ogni passo che muoverai qui. È un viaggio infinito, sorriderò se nel tempo che fugge mi porti con
Okay,
te.
gotta stop right there. Oh, the master again saying, take me with you. Take me with you in this beautiful journey. Allow me in. Let's walk together in this. Let's bring together wisdom and human experience. Okay.
Fall on me, ascoltami, fall on me, abbracciami, fall on me, finché vorrai, finché vorrai, finché vorrai, finché vorrai. I close my eyes and I'm seeing you everywhere. I step outside, it's like I'm breathing you in the air. I can feel you're there. Fall on me, ascoltami. Fall on me, abbracciami.
and the master and the human still together at the very end. The door's been closed, but the master and the human are together as you, the human, and you, the wisdom of the master, coming together. In all of this, you've had a destiny that's now being released, perhaps one of the biggest movements that you're feeling within your being. All this time, ever since you said last lifetime, no more experiences in other lifetimes on this planet, you've had this thing guiding you. The immaturity, the limitations would kept you from what you really desire above all, above cars and money and fame and everything else. The immaturity would have kept you from that. So the soul destiny guided you to this point. And at this point now, master and human, they come together, experience and wisdom, releasing the need indeed for having that destiny. Now you're going to be coming back to the point of actually making mature choices for yourself. You're going to come back to making mature choices, and this is where we're going, what we're going to be talking about now. Making real choices in your life with a new type of freedom, but also with wisdom. They're together, the master and the human, no longer the human coming from a place of limitation, insecurity, needs, and wants. Now that you're at this point of going beyond energy feeding, we had to let the ones who just insisted on energy feeding, we had to move them out. You're going beyond the point here of Makyo. Not a lot of Makyo left, and there's really no room for it in a truly mature being who can really make choices for themselves. And no more room for that immaturity which led to limitation of awareness. Just no room for it. At this point, let's put on some music. And let's come into a mirab, bringing this all together. We're at the point now of, it's just such a beautiful point. Actually making real choices and real decisions in your life. It's kind of been limited lately by the beauty of the destiny. And I know sometimes very frustrating for you. But now, as the master comes into your life, bringing all the wisdom, and now the true choices are going to be made available to you again. As you make choices in your life, there'll be clarity to them, and there'll be a lot of wisdom. One of the big things that happens in the immaturity being exposed is you wonder if you can really handle it. I wonder if you're going to mess things up, if you're going to do things wrong. That's been such a pervasive thought, pervasive feeling for so long now on this spiritual journey. Am I going to mess it up? We can't. Not with the wisdom. You couldn't before because also of this destiny. Yes, this destiny, from the moment you said, I'm done with the old way of human experiences, the destiny is kind of limited or clouded choices in order to bring about your truest desire. fulfillment, realization. Now that destiny is giving way to true wisdom. The father can move aside to let the son or the daughter now have their own life. I'm going to give a very strange kind of an example of maturity. At least Calder thinks it's strange. He's double checking with me. Maturity. I'm going to use marijuana as an example, oddly enough. Maybe 10, 20, 30 years ago, you were exposed to marijuana. You smoked it to get high, for a thrill, for an experience. And it was illegal. It was illegal. And there's those who said that you smoke marijuana, you're going to get addicted to drugs and pornography and everything else in the world, and it was the devil's brew. Don't touch it. But you did it anyway. A lot of you got really high at times. A lot of you kept on getting high all the time. You could say it was, well, we were trying to find other realities, something beyond. But in the immaturity, you just get high. You just get loaded. I found it was a nice little escape from everyday life, so you just get loaded. That's really immature. Fun, but immature. Eventually probably really didn't give you any great big breakthroughs or insights or anything else. But now we fast forward to our time now. You realize actually all the benefits of marijuana: relieves aches and pains, stabilizes children with epilepsy. It's actually going to be shown in its non-hallucinogenic forms to greatly reduce the effects of Alzheimer's. I'm not talking about the kind that gets you high necessarily, but you see, it was always there. It was always there within marijuana. But the immature person or society would look at it just as a tool for getting high. Whereas the mature being, the one who has the wisdom of the master and the experience of the human, realizes it's not the devil's tool. It's not just for getting high and trying to avoid life. There's so much more to it. It has amazing medicinal benefits for the body and the mind. You don't have to have the potent ingredients that just puts one into an altered state. You can do it without that. That's maturity. That's awareness. But 30 years ago, 20 years ago, well, you didn't have the consciousness, the awareness, the maturity to realize it, so it was just a recreational drug. I'm using this as kind of an odd example of the difference between immature and a mature being. You're going to start seeing things that you never saw before because we had a narrow bandwidth. And no, I'm not promoting marijuana here. I'm just saying that's an example. There's so much more that only a being with wisdom can feel or experience. There's so much more to everything in life. that may not have been in the awareness of the immature being. Allowing in the wisdom of the Master. Truly one of the most profound things you've ever done. Brings wisdom, insight, maturity. Brings many, many levels of awareness. And it brings sensuality, tremendous sensuality. Without this wisdom that you've been allowing in these last few years, without this wisdom, you would have not had the balance to handle a truly sensual life. You'd have just gotten high off of sensuality. Just a temporary high, rather than realized all of the beauty of it. When you allowed the Master to come into your life, allowed the wisdom to start coming in, the human wanted to try to take that wisdom for them, to claim the wisdom, to claim their intelligence. But slowly, slowly, as the Master has come in, as the light has come in, as you've allowed it to fall on you, you've realized that it's not for the human to claim this wisdom or claim intelligence or superpowers. It's for the human to walk hand in hand, to sing heart to heart with the Master. With this wisdom coming in, you've come to realize it's not up to the human to have to try to manage and control everything. It works out. It just works out when the human continues with experience, but lets that Master part of themselves bring in the wisdom, the synchronicity, the alignment, the resonance. You did two things that are profound. One, I said, I'm done with the repetitive nature of lifetimes on the planet. I'm done with that. You didn't even say, I want more. You just said, I want out. And then the second most profound thing was opening yourself, allowing in the Master, the wisdom. Few people will ever do that. They're afraid to let something that big, which is also themselves, into their life. Or they're willing to have some other entity or angel come in, but few are ever really willing to let something that big, which is also part of themselves, into their lives, because they're scared of themselves. They don't trust themselves. You allowed yourself into your life. When it brought in wisdom, that is still difficult for you to define. What does it mean? What exactly is it? But you have a feeling for it. And in doing so, it's releasing. Right now, as we speak, it's releasing this soul destiny. It wasn't a bad thing at all. No, it was very good. It was like a life jacket. But it made it so that some of the human choices just were not going to come. With the soul destiny, it meant that certain human needs and wants, immature needs and wants, were just not going to happen. But now that changes. That movement that you feel, that things kind of coming apart, dissolving away that motion that you feel at a certain level of awareness is simply the soul destiny no longer having to be there. It's been replaced by wisdom, maturity. I'm not sure if the human is happy or sad about all that. I'm not sure if the human resents this kind of this destiny. I know the human always likes to think they're free, but very few actually are. The human always likes to think it has choices, but very few really make choices in their lives. You had this destiny that kept you from wandering off, getting lost. Now you've got wisdom. You don't need that jacket of protection anymore. It'll slowly, slowly fade away. You don't need it. You've got the maturity now. Commune with that for a moment. Feel into that. And I cannot emphasize this enough. You cannot do it wrong. You cannot make mistakes. Everything that's happening in your life right now is all part of your realization, whether it's a health issue, financial, just contending with yourself. It is all part of realizing what is actually already done. So dear human, stop working it, stop planning it, stop fearing it. That's really what I want to say, is stop fearing it. Now imagine something that's actually here now. Making real choices in your life. Not choices of what kind of coffee you're going to order or what color shoes you're going to wear. I mean real choices in your life. Not scary choices. Not choices between black and white, but choices of potentials. What to experience next. What to open up next. Real choices, how to dive deeply into the I am and have dive deeply into you. Real choices. Choices that you would have been afraid to make before this. And some choices, big choices, career and where to live and partners, yes, some of that, but even bigger choices in your life. Choices that, in a way, weren't really available to you before because of this destiny factor. But now it is. With maturity, with wisdom, feel into that for a moment. The mature, wise being that you are, now really able to consciously choose without fear, without a lot of inner anxiety, choosing what you want to experience next. Let's take a good deep breath with that. You'll have the opportunity in your life, in the next, between now and our next shout, indeed, for these type of choices. Not where you're going to go to dinner or what you're going to watch on the telly, but real choices. Once again, it's going to feel a little awkward. These were kind of taken out of your potential closet for a while. Unavailable. Now it's coming back. And if you feel any anxiety when this choice, when you realize that choice is right there, if there's any anxiety, take a good deep breath and commune then with the wisdom. Your wisdom. Good deep breath. What a beautiful day we've had together. It started out with 3 levels of awareness. First, the awareness of the soul destiny. Secondly, the awareness that that's being replaced now by very deep-seated and integrated wisdom between you and the Master, just like in the video. And finally, the awareness that a new level of choosing is going to be available to you. And could be a little overwhelming at first, but then breathe in and realize that the wisdom is right there. The maturity that you didn't have even a few years ago is there. Let's take a deep breath together, dear friends. A good deep breath together. What a day it's been. What a day it's been. Very sensual in so many ways. With that, I am Adamus in service to you. Thank you. And remember, thank you. All is well in all of your creation.
So with that, again, just take a good deep breath and allow this to integrate. Maybe even commune with it. Feel it. Can't just breathe anymore. So really allow this message, these energies, to be a part of you as we close out this day with Adamus. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the attendees so willing to take that mic and share from their hearts. Thank you for everyone listening in from all over the world, literally, to our staff, our angels, to the web hosts. I hate saying thank you because there's always somebody that gets forgotten, and I feel bad about that. So thank you to everyone. You all make a difference, and you matter. So we'll be back, if you dare, December 8th for more of Adamus and the Emergence series. Thank you to Jeffrey Hoppe for being so bold and channeling Adamus with such grace. Thank you. Thank you.